All right, I'm sitting here with Tina, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you want to just tell me a little about yourself, how old you are, where you're from originally, stuff like that?
I'm from Upper Bucks County. I'm 42 years old. Wow, it's like I feel like at 42, there's just like been so much time. You know what I mean? I've been down in Philly for about like 20 years. Kensington for like off and on for about 5 years. I am educated. I have a dual bachelor's degree in Spanish and International Relations. I have done like tons of different careers. I was an interior designer. I was a marketing director for Bucks County Bar Association. I got my financial advisor license. I did that for a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're an employable person.
Yeah.
Once you decide, or if you decide to get clean.
Yeah. My next venture is and I think it would be like the one that I stick to. The last time I was like trying to clean up, I worked for a consignment shop, and I really like loved like just researching antiques, and even just like having an eye for that. Like I have a natural eye for that shit, and I really love it.
That's
I dig
awesome.
it. Yeah.
I stop at every consignment or antique store.
There's so many.
Secondhand store.
Yeah.
Down here there's a lot of them too.
Oh my god, yeah.
So I stop and just look. I just stopped. There's a pawn shop on where Kensington turns in the front.
Yeah.
Down Frankfurt, down that way, just a little bit. The green one. With
yeah.
Yeah. I was just in there.
I just saw it when I was riding on the L. I think yesterday.
Yeah.
And I love fashion too. So like, you can have like a little store that has like, you know what I mean, a section with fashion and your vintage things. And I love vintage band T-shirts and shit like that. So,
you have something to be passionate about.
Yeah, definitely. And I found like a unlimited resource down here. These dumpsters are filled with, you know what I mean, treasures that like not so much people down here find to be treasure, but if you go into like the counties, they find it to be treasure once you clean it up. You know what I mean?
Right. People with extra money to spend.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. Like, a little figurine like this big, $100 or whatever. So yeah, I had a good childhood. I'm the oldest of 8. We didn't have a lot of money, but we weren't, it's not like, we were, living on the street or anything like that. My parents are, well, I was going to say my parents are good parents, but like, not that they're bad parents, but I don't even have a relationship with my father anymore. It's just, he's not even my real father, also, so, it's a weird situation. He adopted me, when I was young, very young, and I'm the only one from a different father. So,
so it might have been could have been a weird.
It's like
predicament.
It's kind of just he's a very narcissistic person, and I feel like every relationship I get into is like me trying to prove myself to my dad. You know what I mean? Which, ties me into, like, my drug addiction, you know what I mean? Like, trying to numb the feelings of, like, that. Not so much him, but, like, the feelings I've had with abusive relationships and...
Sure.
So...
I think that's a lot of the reason why a lot of us get high is just to numb certain pains or...
And it's absolutely why I relapse, you know what I mean?
So,
it's because of loneliness,
Okay, let me ask you this. So how long have you been on this run now, in, like, this current...
So I took like a 2-week break where I tried to get clean in a rehab, but I ended up getting COVID.
I would talk about this because I want to bring this up because I think it's important with how COVID isolated a lot of people, and it forced people, made it easier for people to relapse and stuff like that, just because of the isolation and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, the rehabs are just like cesspools, you know what I mean?
So you were in Bowling Green, you said, right? Or I forget what you said. Bowling Green?
Is it? Was it? Yeah. Yes. That's the one that's like 3 hours away.
Wait Deer Run is far away. I forget. Well, anyway, so you were in a rehab when you got COVID. Mm-hmm. The name of it is important. And they gave you a choice to either isolate there.
Well, what ended up happening was like, I was, getting to the point in my detox where they were taking me off the methadone.
So like day 6 then.
Yeah, exactly.
We all know what day that is.
Yeah, and I was feeling very uncomfortable about it. You know what I mean? Not that they give you that much methadone to begin with.
But
you know what I mean? It
helps.
Yeah, it does. It majorly takes the edge off. And I wasn't somewhere where I could just hop on a train and be in Kensington.
Sure.
I didn't even know where the fuck I was, and I didn't even remember going there, you know what I mean? Like, I was so high when I got there. So, I just was I was having a severe panic attack. And, it may have been an excuse, or I don't know what it was. I just called my mom and I was like, you need to, and I'm not somebody who quits on rehabs or trying to get clean. If I say that I'm gonna get clean, I get clean, what I mean?
At least finish the rehab and stuff.
Right.
I like to do,
yeah, exactly. And I called my mom and I was like, you gotta just get me out of here. COVID was weird because it was like the flu, but I also had major depression with COVID.
Yes.
There's
a lot of other side effects or things that are happening with COVID that it's affecting. I got mine. Actually, I was interviewing Amber. She gave me COVID.
Really?
Or I gave her COVID. Whatever the fact is.
Right.
We had it, and that was Christmas Eve, I believe, or December 23rd.
Oh, wow.
I still can't taste food.
Shut up. Are you serious?
Yeah. I still like coffee. I don't even know why I put creamer in it because I can't, and I love coffee.
Wow.
That's the only thing, it's my favorite thing in the world is coffee. I still have it there.
Oh my gosh.
Still can't taste. But yeah, I've had other people say stuff about depression and stuff like that associated, especially because you're isolating with COVID too.
Wow. Oh my God. Yeah, absolutely.
And isolating for an addict is literally the worst thing we can do.
Right. Yeah. Yes, it is. I had with the lie.
To me, that is the most intense 90 seconds of your life.
Yes, I was.
There's nothing compares to that.
Yeah, I was hooked on that.
So people watching, don't try this shit.
Right?
It feels too good.
Exactly.
You'll be stuck down here.
I said if I ever go to Jamaica, I would love to shoot the coke down there because that is some good.
I can only imagine.
Oh, I can't imagine. Yeah.
I can only imagine.
But so I moved down here after my marriage failed. My car had gotten stolen. I started dating this guy that was I started smoking crack to curb my oxy habit, which was 15 oxys a day. And then I start shooting coke.
So how long have you been using a needle for now? IV, years, if you would say.
5 years.
5. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
not terribly long.
So let me ask you a quick question. Were you addicted to the old heroin?
I was.
Or are you just on the fentanyl?
So I only had a very brief, short period of time that I was addicted to heroin. It was, I think about, it was probably less than a year, really, because I started doing dope here in Philadelphia. Right when I started doing coke, I was like, well, if I'm shooting coke, I might as well shoot heroin and save some money, on the $20 oxy hat, Yeah. $20 pill Johns, and I just lost track of what I was saying. But I was only doing that for a few months, and things quickly spun out of control. I didn't know I had a warrant. I went to buy a gun, and it was probably the best thing that could have happened was I got arrested, and because I was I was very suicidal. It was just bad. So
it's probably a good thing they didn't let you buy the gun.
Yeah, and I was nailing up black clothing on my like windows and like pushing furniture in front of my door. I didn't see anybody like
not in a good mental headspace.
It was absolutely freaking terrible. So
So you did experience like the regular heroin, and then did you notice the change to fentanyl? Like,
yeah, I was on dope heroin here for a few months, and then I got clean. When I got clean, I went out to California to rehab there. And I was out there for 2.5 years. No, it was almost 3 years because I relapsed out there on black tar. So I was doing black tar for about like 6 months or whatever. Then I moved back here, called my girlfriend up to get some dope, and I didn't realize that everything had switched over. And I absolutely do not remember that 2-week period of time that like.
So you were just nodded out heavy the whole time.
Yeah, it was Christmas and New Year's, and I have like no recollection of it.
Now, did you like when you started it? Because this is so fascinates me so much. Now, did you enjoy the rush from fentanyl? Did you like it like more than a heroin?
I do like the rush of fentanyl. I mean,
it's a lot different than heroin. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a lot stronger, and I was doing like heroin. Like I was doing out in California, they will only let you buy a certain syringe that like it doesn't hold a lot. So like you can only really do so much, and you can only really get so high out there. There's like almost like a ceiling effect, and I wasn't really getting high. I was just like kind of just maintaining. So yeah, I do like the fentanyl rush. Now, I do like getting.
Did you notice, or what's your thoughts on like the trank? Do you like that stuff? How's the?
I used to like the trank. Excuse me. Do you have a tissue?
Shoot.
Sorry, my nose like started running like in like December and hasn't stopped since then.
Here, hold this.
Okay.
Man,
sorry about that.
What do I have?
It's not.
What about these? It's got to be dry, doesn't it?
No. Okay. That's fine. Yeah. I use my sleeve for God's sake.
Yeah. No. That you know what the lady I was just talking to outside, she just said for me to start carrying napkins or tissues.
Oh yeah.
And so that's a smart. I'm going to start that.
Yeah, especially because these get cold and frozen. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. I gotta carry that stuff.
Yeah. But anyways, so
the xylazine.
The trank.
Yeah. Now, do you enjoy? You said you used to enjoy it, but not anymore. Like you don't like it as much anymore. Whatever.
It seems that everything is all trank now. Yeah. I feel like there's no fentanyl in it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I fall out or nod or whatever you want to call it. My tolerance now, I'm down to like almost a third of a bag for one shot.
Oh, wow.
So I get 3 shots out of one bag. When I started doing dope dope or fentanyl or whatever, I was doing, because my oxy habit was so big, I was doing 3 bag shots, 3 bags in one shot. Now I'm getting 3 shots out of one bag.
So I guess not that it's a good thing, but
but it just shows how strong it is.
And now you the withdrawal from it.
So that is something I was just talking to a couple people about this. I'm a pretty tough chick. You know what I mean? I'm not scared.
You're surviving on the streets of Philly.
Yeah.
100% a tough chick.
And I'm by myself most of the time. I stay in bandos that are, completely dark, by myself, and I'm not like somebody who, I'm like, tough it out, you know what I mean? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps and get through it, you know what I mean? Even
with that mentality, it's still tough, this withdrawal.
Tough isn't even the word. I fear it like you have no idea. Jeez. I become such a different person. I was, the last time I was locked up, Bucks came to get me, and I was like, I just faked having a heart attack. And then, like, then they're like, okay, well, we're not going to take her. We're going to put her back in the cell. And then I freaked out because I didn't want to be cold anymore in that cell.
Sure,
like,
yeah.
I was so uncomfortable. I just kept running back and forth between the two officers.
Wow.
And, like,
that's so scary.
it was just, like, that's not me. That's not, like, who I am. And they got so sick of my, like, shit. They threw me out the back and said, the hospital's down there. And I went down to the subway. I collapsed on a bench. I woke up in the hospital, and they had said that the reason I was in the hospital was an overdose. I hadn't had dope in 2 days at that point. That's how fucking.
So you probably had a
sick.
Seizure, and they found.
Yeah, that's how fucking sick I was. Like,
God, that's so scary.
It's just the worst.
And I don't want you not take your glasses off. I know you had something happen outside. With those, how many sores do you deal with?
So, like, I actually just had my first abscess on my arm.
Okay.
And it came, I fell, actually. It's not even from shooting up. I fell.
But because of the trank, it turned into a sore, huh?
Yeah. There's, like, a whole lot of factors competing with this situation around the sores. And my sister, she's really good at, like, researching this stuff. And I knew she knew, like, she was onto something when she told me, okay, the majority of us out here are complaining about a parasite. And I think that, well, it's ridiculous. Healthcare professionals have been telling it's everything but a parasite when you can actually see it with the naked eye. It's so ridiculous, but they didn't know exactly what it was or where it was coming from, and so they didn't want to start a panic. But we're all complaining of it. It was absurd. But anyway, so my sister told me what the parasite looked like on the wound, and I knew she was onto something. And it's, I guess, basically a very common parasite that I think was sent over, like, overseas, like, you know what I mean? Because this is the first year I've ever experienced it, but a lot of other nations give vaccines or medication for this parasite. We're the only first world nation that does it. And to everyone out there, like, look into it. I can't remember the name of the parasite. It starts with an M, but it's supposedly
I'll Google it. I'll put it in the thing if I could find it.
We give it to our horses, which we're doing horse tranquilizers, so that would make sense.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so, and you supposedly you can get medication.
And you just had like, I don't need to take your. You just had a
so
right?
yeah, it was like a sty that just kept, like, my. It's so gross looking. Well, now it just looks. Now it's just bloody. Yeah, but you can see how swollen my eyelid is, and it felt like a sty. But as I was getting ready,
You said because you were getting ready for the interview, right?
Yeah.
And it popped?
It, like, this, like, like, almost like a whitehead formed, like, it's so disgusting. Like, I think there's something about Mary. Like, the guy with the pimple on his eye. I was like, oh my God, of course this has to happen.
That's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, right. And I was like, this has to happen now. But yeah, so that's the second one now. But I think I have cellulitis. I think that's what's going on.
I hope you, okay, it's about 20 minutes. I'll be letting you go now. So I hope you go get them worked or fixed or addressed before it gets worse, hopefully, like I told you, Temple is good on Broad Street and Jefferson. They're both giving ketamine and Dilaudid while you're in there getting the stuff worked on.
Yeah.
So, my hope is that you will get them worked on. Are you interested in treatment or anything yet? Like, where are you at in mentally? Because, I mean, a lot of times you're just not ready, and
so, like, I hope this doesn't make, like, my interview sound, I don't know. My thing is, I actually, like, I don't want to get help right now. I respect that 100% that you're honest about that. It's okay. That's okay too. It's not just about the drug for me. Out here, I'm living on my terms, and I was like a really depressed person. I miss my mother and my sister terribly, and the rest of my brothers and sisters and my stepdad. I miss them all terribly, and I wish I could have a relationship with them and do this, but they can't have me in their life, doing this stuff. Sure. My mom doesn't want to see me killing myself. My sister can't have me around because the kids, you know what I mean? Like, and I get that, like, I really do. But, every morning I wake up, like, I don't know what the day is going to bring, and I like that uncertainty, and I like that adventure feeling, you know what I mean? Like, the Groundhog Day, like, the same shit every day was killing me, like, and that was, like, leading me to drugs. My tolerance is lower than it's ever been. I probably use less drugs now than I did when I was living in a house, with a job. Yeah. So, like, my situation's different, though. You know what I mean? Like, every situation's different. I can't speak for 100%. Anybody else. You know what I mean?
That's why I like to interview different people. And I like the fact that you're honest, that you want to be out here right now. Not want to, but you're okay with it. This is your life.
You know what? I thought... When I was doing oxys, I didn't think there was ever going to be a day that I couldn't, not do them.
Right.
And now, like, you could put a pile of oxys in front of me, and I could care less.
Right.
I hope that one day I feel that way about fentanyl.
Right. I hope so too. But we'll see. All right. I will let you go now. Thank you so much. Can we keep up this dialogue? Can I interview you again in the future?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tina, so much.
All right. Bye.